Valley of the Temples is an archaeological site in Agrigento, Sicily. It is one of the most outstanding examples of ancient Greek art and architecture of Magna Graecia, and is one of the main attractions of Sicily. The term valley is a misnomer, the site being located on a ridge outside the town of Agrigento. Since 1997, the entire area has been included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. The archaeological and landscape park of the Valley of the Temples, with its 1,300 hectares, is the largest archaeological park in Europe and the Mediterranean basin. The valley includes remains of 7 temples, all in Doric style. The ascription of the names, apart from that of the Olympion, are a mere tradition established in Renaissance times. The temples are: first, Temple of Concordia, whose name comes from a Latin inscription found nearby, and which was built in the 5th century BC. Turned into a church in the 6th century AD, it is now one of the best preserved in the valley. Due to its good state of preservation, the Temple of Concordia is ranked amongst the most notable edifices of the Greek civilization existing today. When the temple was turned into a church, the entrance was moved to the rear, and the rear wall of the cell was destroyed. The sepulchres visible inside and outside the temple date to the High Middle Age. Second, Temple of Hera, also built in the 5th century BC. It was burnt in 406 BC by the Carthaginians. This temple lies at the easternmost end of the ridge and is built on a huge artificial terrace. The building was damaged in the fire of 406 BC and restored in Roman times, with the substitution of marble tiles with ones of clay, and the addition of a steep rise in the area where today can be seen the remains of the altar. Third, Temple of Hercules, who was one of the most venerated deities in the ancient Acragas. It is the most ancient in the valley, destroyed by an earthquake. It consists today of only 8 columns. The traditional name of this temple comes from another mentioned by Cicero about a temple dedicated to the classical hero, not far from the Forum. Stylistically, the temple belongs to the last years of the 6th century BC. Fourth, Temple of Olympian Zeus was built in 480 BC to celebrate the city-state's victory over Carthage. It is characterized by the use of large-scale atlases. The Olympion complex main attraction is the huge temple of Olympian Zeus. Today it is reduced to ruins due to destruction begun in antiquity and continued through the 18th century, when the temple was used as a quarry for the port of Porto Empedocle. Fifth, north of temple is the Temple of the Dioscuri, Castor and Pollux, the northwest corner of which is in a misleading modern reconstruction from the early 19th century, created using pieces from various other temples. Despite its remains including only 4 columns, it is now the symbol of modern Agrigento. The temple would likely have been a Doric peripteral dating to about the mid-5th BC. 6th, Temple of Hephaestus, Vulcan, also dating from the 5th century BC. It is thought to have been one of the most imposing constructions in the valley. It is now, however, one of the most eroded. 7th, Temple of Asclepius, located far from the ancient town's walls. It was the goal of pilgrims seeking cures for illness. The Temple of Asclepius is located in the middle of the San Gregorio plain. The small temple, probably dating to the late 5th century BC. The valley is also home to the so-called Tomb of Theron, a large tough monument of pyramidal shape. Scholars suppose it was built to commemorate the Romans killed in the Second Punic War.